So I keep hearing about Love Island. I've never seen anything about it, but somebody told me I need to ask you about it because apparently you know things.
I do know things. That's so awesome. Yes, I do know things about this, and it is quite the phenomenon, as it were. So it's been around for a while. This show called Love Island, and it's like you would expect, right? It's got it's a reality show where a bunch of very pretty people are on a they're in Fiji and they're secluded away, and basically, do they date each other? Do they not date each other? Do they find love? Do they not find love? And then it's a reality show, so people get voted off and the whole thing. So, and it's very dramatic. It's very, very dramatic. Now, the reason I know this is because my wife is a super fan of Love Island, and she has watched both the British version, which is where it started, and now the most current, which is the American version. And it is absolutely these people. I mean, for me, I weep for our youth in some cases for this, but it is absolutely the craziest thing that you've ever seen with these people and the stunts that they have to do, and they make out with each other, and then they make out with each other, and then they make out with more people, and then they kiss. I mean, it's absolutely crazy.
All right, all I have to say is we would do nothing like that. We should have our own show and call it Dumb Island.
There you go. I think it's well. I wanted to do. Here's the thing. I wanted to do Love Island for Gen Xers, where basically everybody just sits around not caring about anything.
I like it. I'll never ever watch it.
There you go.
But I'm glad you and your lovely wife are excited about it.
There you go.
There you go.
Just remember, everybody has your story to tell. Tell it well. Of this old marketing.
And now, for your listening pleasure, here's Pulizzi and Rose, covering the week of media, marketing, and digital content news. This Old Marketing. Take it away, boys.
Well, hello, friends. Welcome to a special episode of This Old Marketing, proudly brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. But this week it is the audio destination for NFL fans. Yes, that's right. I'm Robert Rose, and welcome to episode number 443 for Friday, August 30th. 2024. And with me, as always, as he always is my pal, my colleague, and a guy who still thinks the Browns have a shot, Mr. Joe Pulizzi.
Well, we don't know this yet because I haven't given you my predictions.
I know, but I'm thinking, I'm mind reading, and I'm feeling it.
Well, first off, who are you wearing? Tell me what who's is this?
This
number
would
9?
This would be, yes, the number 9. Let me just stand up here for a second so you can see it on video. Yeah, number 9, which is Tony Romo, which is a classic for me. I was a Tony Romo fan for many, many years. Some might call me a Tony Romo apologist because, of course, he was known as somebody who could never win the big one and would always choke in the big game. But to me, he was and still is, and I know this is going to be a controversy for Cowboys fans, he still is and was the best quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Even more than Roger. Yep. Even more than Roger.
Whoa. Yep. Well, I would say that he was definitely above average. I wouldn't call him a great quarterback. I wouldn't call him a great quarterback, but I would call him a great analyst. I think that he's an amazing football analyst than he is. And that's why, like, my wife, who, never really watched Tony Romo play as a footballer, absolutely loves any game where he's calling. Him and Jim Nantz are calling.
He's excitable. Loves it. He's definitely excitable, and he definitely knows the sport. I mean, he was considered one of the best readers of defenses in the game. I mean, so from an analyst perspective, he really, really knows what's going on there. Yeah. So that's my fan. And you, Johnny Football, of course, I recognize.
First of all, I have my orange. I brought out my special orange hair for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Which you have seen before, but not in this circumstance. This is number 2, and a lot of people would say, "Oh, number 2, Tim Couch." No, This is Johnny Manziel. And Johnny Manziel was not with the Browns very long.
No,
but actually a friend of ours, Carlos Hidalgo, got me this jersey. I spoke at one of his events and he gave me this jersey. And,
is that right?
And it is a very lucky jersey because I don't know what the record is, but I'm like 10-2 with this jersey on. But I have to keep it for special. I can't bring it out for every game because then the record wouldn't be that good.
Yeah,
but I like to bring it to certain games. This is a lucky jersey. I'm looking forward to wearing it this year, and I still love Johnny, even though the only game I ever saw in person was he started against the Cincinnati Bengals. It was a home game in Cleveland, and I don't think he had one positive yard the entire game.
That's probably true. Yeah,
it was horrific. We were 8-8 and actually I think still in the playoff hunt at that moment, and we gave up on the season by starting Johnny.
Yeah,
who by the way is making some rounds. He's like doing interviews and stuff like that. Oh yeah, he's turning the corner. He's turning the corner. I got whatever his second career is. I got good vibes about Johnny Manziel. Anyways, this is our special show. We've been wanting to do this forever.
It is a special show. Yes. Yeah. For those of you who may have, by the way, just tuned in randomly, which, we look at our podcast stats and, it's sometimes basically people skip shows or whatever. So if you happen to miss last week's show, we teed you up for this. So this is your own fault for tuning in. This is going to be our NFL episode. We are right on the cusp of the beginning of the NFL season, which starts next week, I think. As we go to air with this, certainly. So we're going to talk for 30, 35 minutes, maybe more. We never know, about football. We're going to talk about the NFL, the upcoming season. We're going to talk about our picks. We're going to talk about all sorts of things. We're going to geek out on the NFL for a few minutes and hope you enjoy it. We're not going to talk about marketing much.
Or not. You don't have to enjoy it.
That's true. You don't have to.
This is just, you and I usually have just a regular conversation about football, or actually we talk about it before a lot of the episodes.
That's right.
So we're going to jam pack our conversation into this amazing Emmy award winning special.
That's right. This is the one that's going to get us the Webby.
This is the one we're going to send in, because we always do an awards program. We've won this podcast have won many awards over the years.
That's right.
But this is the one for 2024 and 25 that we're going to submit.
This is the one we're going to submit.
The special NF. Absolutely. I'm absolutely going to send it into the judges, and they're going to have to take it. They're going to take it and listen to this whole thing. I think what makes, and we'll talk about more of this at the end of this episode, but what makes this one so special is that the Browns, my favorite team, and the Cowboys, your favorite team,
that's right,
they're playing the opener this year.
That is correct.
Which I will be at. I think. I'm pretty sure. And you will be watching from your lovely home.
I will actually probably have to. Here's the thing. I have to fly that day. So because that week is a crazy week for me. We have Macon that week. We have, all sorts of things that week.
Oh, you might be. So you should have came a day early to Cleveland.
I can't because I have to fly to Atlanta. And so I have to be in Atlanta for Monday.
Work.
Scotch. Yeah.
Something like that.
That's what I got for you.
I feel a little bit bad for you. This is my tiny violin that's playing.
I'll be watching in a hotel room somewhere. It'll be, and then we'll text each other, I'm sure, and we'll be talking trash.
All right. So how's this going to go? Or
this is going to go. We have a few thoughts here that are going to happen here. We're going to talk about some stuff. And we've got a bit of questions for each other. We've got some picks that we'll make, some prognostications that we'll make. And then we'll sort of finish it off with who we think might end with, the MVP and what the Browns and the Cowboys final seasons might, records might be at the end of the season, and which will tell us a lot about the other predictions as well.
Yep.
And then we'll close the show, I think, with sort of the bets and predictions about the opener, the Browns and Cowboys opener,
I cannot wait.
And what's going to happen,
Very excited.
If each other loses. I have an idea there, and I'm sure you do too. So I'm sure you do as well.
But we're not going to go there quite yet. There's a lot of NFL content to talk about.
That is correct.
First, I think we should discuss the new kickoff rule. What do you think?
I think that's a perfect place for us to start, since it's a kickoff and since it's a brand new way. And I've been watching the preseason games, and I have thoughts. So what are your thoughts?
Well, first, I think we need to tell everyone that there's a new kickoff. You're not just going to kick off from the 35-yard line, and
That's right.
People start from their regular locations. I wrote some of this down because I had to figure out. So the kicking
it's quite
teams,
complex, actually.
The kicking team starts all their people from the 40-yard line.
Correct.
And the receiving team starts between the 30 and 35-yard line. So they're all very close. What it means is nobody gets a running start, and they're trying to cut down on the injuries.
That's right.
And nobody can move until the ball hits the ground on the kickoff or it's caught.
That's right.
And then people can actually start moving. So I like this because I thought that they should. I was actually a proponent for just get rid of the kickoff altogether. But I think you can't do that because at some point you need to insert the onside kick, which we'll talk about in a second, because that sort of goes away for 3 quarters. But anyways, it seems like about 75% of the time we are having kickoffs, whereas we had kickoffs about 10% of the time in the preseason. It seems to be working. And
it is.
You have like in Dallas you have a really good. Who's your kickoff returner? Turpin.
Well, there's a few of them. Turpin. Yeah, Turpin. is our.
So you might really benefit from this.
Well, here's the thing. So it turns it into a play. Basically, it turns it into a long play, and I really like that. And the interesting thing is, and you did a good job of sort of describing the basics of it, but it gets even more complex, right? You can't fair catch it. And once you catch the ball, you can run, obviously. If it the kickoff has to land in a zone from the 0 to the 20-yard line. So it has to land in that zone. You can't kick it off short, like you said.
Yep.
You can kick it out of the end zone, but if you kick it out of the end zone in the kickoff, then the ball, and I may get this
goes to the
wrong,
30, I think.
It goes to the 30. Yeah, it goes to the 30-yard line. If you fair catch it, it basically goes to the 20-yard line. And then if somehow it goes out of there's one
OB is 40-yard line. Right?
Correct.
So I think that might not be right, but that's the gist. It's something like that.
That's right.
Which we'll know a lot more when I see it more. And then my big question was what happens to the onside kick? And I had to look it up because I didn't know. I haven't seen one yet. And you probably already know this, but there's no onside kick until the 4th quarter.
Exactly.
And there's no surprise onside kick anymore. So when you have to tell the opposing team that you're going to do an onside kick, and then I believe you do it just like you've always done it, where people line up in their own spots.
The onside kick didn't
the ball has to go 10 yards, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, when I went to one of the preseason games for the Cowboys and the Rams, and of course there were a few kickoffs, and it was good. It's exciting. It actually makes kickoff exciting again, and the fact that it's it's the players are so close to each other. Again, it makes it a little bit like a play, right? It's not sort of either something dramatic is going to happen or it's going to be completely boring, which mostly kickoffs were completely boring, but it actually turns it into an active play 90% of the time. Like it almost like, and to your point, we have a really good kicker who can place the ball. So the idea is the strategy that seems to be playing out, because there's all sorts of strategies that are now being. I've watched a few games where kickers are trying all these different strategies. Like one is kick it sideways so that it starts to spin in a certain way to make the player not be able to catch it.
Okay.
There's another strategy that was being deployed by I think the Chiefs kicker, where he was doing sort of a bend it with Beckham kind of thing, where it's like you kick it off and you make the football bend, so that it makes it really confusing for where it's going to land. And so it's a fascinating sort of thing as the strategies start to develop. But basically, it's a really cool sort of strategic play now.
Well, I think the big thing too is the NFL has been trying to figure out a safer way to do the kickoff, and this is at least a try at that, where you don't have a defender coming down the field at 24 miles an hour and just running headlong into somebody.
That's right.
That's
exactly right.
So, yeah.
Which is why they put them so close together and why you can't really, move. So
they get that much speed going.
You can't get that much speed, and you can't get, so you can't fly basically at somebody with with your head and take them out. You know what I mean? Because what was happening in kickoffs where they were landing is like the hang time is so high, you're literally catching the ball and there's somebody right there. So it was a little dangerous. And
so if they keep, you're going to see a record year for a returner and return touchdowns, just because simply because of more opportunity. Now, I know that it's, as a regular play, you might not see the breakaways, but the fact that you're increasing by 600% the amount of touches that you're going to get more opportunities to see returns.
Well, true. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to see I forget the stat exactly, but I believe the average was 26-yard line or 25. It was basically whatever even with returns, if you added in returns, it was still right around where a touchback would be, right? And so I think the average seems to be now around the 30-yard line where the run backs. So it seems to be somewhere between the 28 and the 30 seems to be sort of the average. Okay. I think you're going to see that 28 to 35, once returners start to figure it out a little bit, I think you're going to see that go up. So probably 30 to 35-yard line will be the starting point, which will ultimately mean, it could mean more scoring. It could mean more, longer drives, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm looking up. I want to know the return. Yeah, who has the most returns in a single season? And the record is 4 by Travis Williams and Cecil Turner. It says.
Oh,
and then
I would have thought Devin Hester. I would have thought Devin Hester.
Not in a year. Devin. I don't even see Devin. Josh Cribbs had 3 in 2009 for the Browns.
Devin Hester goes way back. I mean, that's
Devin Hester did 2 twice in the same year.
Okay.
In 2006, 2007. The point is, you're going to see that broken this year. There's prediction.
Okay.
Somebody's going to return 4 or more. 4 or more. I'm not betting on that. If I was a betting man, I would absolutely bet on that.
All right. So here's your next topic, since you just mentioned betting and predictions. So AFC, right? So your team represents the AFC. Your AFC championship game pick. I will do the same, obviously. So
you want me to do I'm just doing AFC. I'm not doing NFC.
No. We'll get to the NFC because I represent the NFC, of course. And so who do you like as the championship, and why is it not the Browns?
AFC championship. So what I did was I picked my top 4 teams for the AFC and the NFC because I wanted to like, who's my final 4.
Sure.
So I did a little bit more research than you did, but that's okay.
You needed to do the research. You're definitely less equipped.
Okay, here we go. Right. Okay. My final 4, no Browns. Unfortunately. Here's my final 4. Chiefs, Jets, Bengals, Texans.
Oh, Jets.
Here's my final 4.
Hold on. One more time for me. Chiefs,
my final 4.
Jets, Bengals, Texans.
Bengals, Texans.
Okay. All right.
My final 4 in the AFC.
Okay.
My AFC championship game, Jets versus Texans.
No way. No way. No, as the guy on TikTok says, no way. No. Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That is that. I will take that bet.
Okay.
So Jets. Look, Aaron Rodgers is a tool, but Aaron Rodgers is. I think he's washed. I don't think he. No. Jets. No. I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron goes out again the first game this seain. I mean, I think.
Aaron. Well, you haven't asked me, but I'll tell you, Aaron Rodgers, comeback player of the year.
No.
I would say Nick Chubb, who went out early with that horrible injury. But I honestly don't know when Nick Chubb is going to be back this year. I believe he will be back, but I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen him run. Yeah. They're going to be very protective over him because that's the second time he's had that injury where he's blown out his ACL and MCL. Yeah. It's been terrible. It was just, I was at that game and it was just a horrible thing.
It's just sad. He's such a great player. I love that player.
But what's interesting is that whole week after that injury from Nick Chubb, the thought was he would never run again. Like it was
he may not.
bad.
He may not. Yeah, he may not. I mean,
he may.
Running backs do not come back from that injury lightly. And one time, much less twice.
There are people inside the Browns camp that say he could make an appearance in week 1.
Wow. Okay.
Which I don't think is going to happen.
No.
But I would love to see 100% Nick Chubb. If they would only do it if they believe he's 100%. Yeah. So anyways. Okay.
Too.
So I have Jets Texans as my final. How about your AFC? What do you got?
Okay, I'll do the same thing. I'll do the final. I'll do a 4. I'll do 4 of them. Because you did. I did not need to do the research, the level of research you did, because I am correct in this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to go in no particular order. The 4 will be Texans, Bills, Bengals, and probably I'm a little torn on the last one. That's not the Jets for sure. I'm gonna go. Let's see. I'm gonna go Dolphins again. I'm gonna go Dolphins. So those 4, right? So you have Texans, Dolphins, Bills, Bengals.
Okay. All right, that's your 4, and
there's
2.
a 4. And then my final 2, Dolphins, Texans.
You were just hedging on the Dolphins being part of your 4, and now they're in the final. What the heck?
Yeah.
Dolphins and Texans. You're saying is that
that's
what you're,
correct? That's right. The
AFC
AFC Championship, Dolphins, Texans. Yep.
All right.
And Texans take it.
Well, you and I are both on the same. You and I are both on the same page with the Texans because CJ Stroud is the real deal.
He's the real deal. Yeah.
And which by the way, as an Ohio State quarterback, usually they don't do that well in the NFL, but his mechanics are improving. His accuracy is unbelievable. Plus, he can run. I mean, I'm just so impressed with what they've been able to do with the Texans. Here's my question: you have a Final 4 for the Bills, and of course Josh Allen, their quarterback. Who is Josh Allen going to throw to? As far as I can tell, they got rid of all their really good wide receivers. Is there anyone to catch the ball? Is he going to throw it off the line and have it bounce up in the air and Josh can catch it?
Yep. Yeah, I can't bet against Josh Allen because he's that good. So
he is amazing. He is, but he's got no one to throw to right now.
Because here's the thing: it's either Bills or Chiefs in that next spot. So, and I think Chiefs are in a similar boat, right? But I think Chiefs are done. I think that
neither one of us picked the defending Super Bowl champions.
Correct. Yeah, correct. I think the Chiefs have started to show their colors toward the end of last season. And I think, look, Mahomes is unbelievable, but I think people have figured out Mahomes, and Kelsey's not what he used to be.
I think Mahomes doesn't get enough credit for what he was able to do.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
With that receiving core.
That's right.
And that running group. And he was basically, him and Kelsey carried that team. Well, really, the defense. The defense is so underrated for that team. So unbelievable what they've done. Okay. Yeah. I have the Jets and Texans. So we do think alike on the Texans. And you have the Dolphins. So we have the same division, same team. So there's some eerie similarities there.
Yeah.
Okay. So since
nobody can figure out Tyreek Hill. I mean, that's the thing with the Dolphins. You just can't stop Tyreek Hill. It just he might be
the best receiver.
And their coaching staff on the Dolphins is just absolutely insanely good.
Well, I think that who's that head coach? He is funny. He's really, really funny. Was it McDonald? Who's his coach?
Yeah. Josh McDonald.
Yeah. He's pretty darn funny. Okay. I think that you should go first. McDaniels. Thank you. Yeah. You should go first with your NFC. Let's do the same thing. Give me your top 4 and your NFC championship pick.
Okay. This is easier. Unfortunately. It's easier. So Cowboys will be in the top 4. And so,
of course, the Cowboys.
Of course. But we'll see. We'll see about the rest of it. So Cowboys, Eagles, unfortunately, as much as that pains me to say. San Francisco, of course, because they're really, really good. And then the fourth spot, I'm going to have to give probably to the Packers. I think the Packers can do it again, can come back again. Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your final two.
This gets tough because I want I'm gonna totally, I will pick one, I promise. But I want it to be San Francisco, Dallas. But I could very easily see San Francisco Eagles. And
Okay.
And I mean, that just hurts to even say. So I'm going to pick San Francisco, Dallas, but know that I'm not, but know that I do that not because I'm a homer, or excuse me, no, because I am a homer.
Yeah,
and
you're gonna, because
I'm going to totally pick my
you're
team.
biased and you don't,
Totally,
because you know it's not going to happen.
The analyst in me has doubts, but the fan in me does not happen. Yeah, I
see how this is. Okay.
Yeah.
All very respectable bandwagonish picks.
Yep.
Which is to be expected. That's okay.
Oh, you have some upsets, do you?
I wouldn't call them upsets. I would call them what's going to happen. I mean, I know this game a little bit. I've been
a little bit. Yeah, I think a little bit is the right way to phrase
some
that.
Time. Yeah. Okay, here. Yeah. So I have my top four. Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
As you mentioned. LA Rams.
I think they were a fluke. LA Rams. What are you?
LA Rams.
Crazy? What are you, insane?
LA Rams. Detroit Lions.
Well, Detroit at 100%.
Detroit.
I might actually switch my pick to Detroit over Green Bay.
So now I see how it is. Detroit, by the way, up and down, best lineup.
Detroit is great.
Up and down in the entire NFL.
Great team. They're a great team.
If they could, if it wasn't for, in my opinion, a couple of coaching faux pas, they might have made it all the way last year.
Yeah, they're a great team.
Even though I do like their coach. Packers, Rams, Lions, and I did pick your Cowboys.
Okay.
In the
no 4. San Francisco. That's very interesting.
No San Francisco. And my other prediction on that is Eagles do not make the playoffs.
Oh my goodness gracious! I love you.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Eagles do not. And if I had to give them a record, I would say 8-9.
Okay. And do you think that's just because the coaching, the sort of, because they just traded for Johan Dotson. And they now have quite the receiving core.
I think that if you look at what happened in their final 8 games last year, you saw the true Philadelphia
Well, that's the
Eagles.
toxicity of the locker room. Yeah. The apparently Sirianni and blanking on his name, the quarterback, don't get along at all.
There's a problem there. And when I think we mentioned it on one of the shows. You look at that sideline; it's like going to a funeral.
That's true.
Like
they've
got nothing to play for right now. Now, maybe I could be wrong, and something happened in preseason or the end of last year, and they changed that. But until I see that leadership change, and that tone and that vibe change, I just can't think that they're going to win close games.
Well, they have the new offensive coordinator, who of course came from the Cowboys. With Kellen Moore, and then they have a new defensive coordinator, the one that.
Do they have a new head coach?
They do not have a new head coach, right?
Well,
so that
starts at the top.
He's a punk. Yeah, I totally. So,
like I said, I talked to somebody who was voting for Republican policies instead of Donald Trump. Would vote for Trump to get Republican policies. I said the Republican policies don't end up running the country. It's the person who gets elected. In this case. He's calling the shots, and I think they need to switch there. So there's my team. And then did I give you my final two? Oh, yeah, no, I didn't give you my.
You didn't give it the final two. No.
So those are my 4: Packers, Rams, Lions, Cowboys.
Yeah,
my final
those
2.
Are good 4. Yeah,
my final 2, which you're gonna hate: Packers, Rams.
No. Oh my God.
Packers, Rams.
Take
it to the bank.
You and your
Take it to the
I'll
bank.
take it to the crypto bank is where I'll take it with my NFTs and my
Take it to the bank.
No.
Yes. Yeah, I got Jets, Texans against Packers, Rams. There's my 4.
Insane, my friend. That is not Rams. I can't even. I don't even understand that. Rams are good. I mean, I think if the Rams have a winning record, it'll be a huge accomplishment.
Oh, they're definitely going to be there.
No,
They may not have
Stafford
the
is-
best record in that division, but they will definitely make the playoffs.
They have nobody to run the ball. They have a great receiver. They have one great receiver, one who's sort of on the, I mean, Cooper Kupp is amazing. And then the new kid is good, but Stafford, I don't know. I just don't think they got it. I don't think they have it. Yeah.
A lot of big game experience on that team, including the coach. So
look at what they did last year. I mean, and I know every year is new, but I just, I don't see it.
You watch, and a healthy Cooper Kupp this year, a healthier is going to be in real good position. It's going to set up those secondary.
Well, Nakua is
tertiary receivers.
Nakua is the kid. I mean, that kid is amazing.
It's going to be something. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, your Cowboys lose the first playoff game, which I don't.
Again,
I mean, I want them to win.
That's a safe prediction,
but yeah,
that's a bandwagon prediction.
They do.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys do something better than any other team in the NFL, it's losing the first playoff game.
Yeah,
and I say that knowing that the Browns aren't in the
true.
playoffs very much. Like, I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying that that's a pretty safe bet. That's my obvious pick.
Yeah. Well, I have them losing the NFC Championship game. So how about
that? Okay. Well, so then what's next? We got to so the NFC champ, AFC champ, and your Super Bowl winner.
Okay, so NFC champ, I'm and again I'm torn on this, but I think it's the 49ers. I think they're very strong. And by the way, I could easily go with the Lions here as well, but I'm not. I'm going to go with 49ers. They're just a very strong team. Mm-hmm. And then that I picked for the AFC, right? I picked that it was going to be. Who did I pick?
You said no. You didn't give me your pick
for the winner of the AFC Championship.
You didn't. You have Dolphins, Texans. Who's your winner?
So it's Texans. So Texans. San Francisco and the Texans and San Francisco.
Texans and San Francisco. That's interesting. I mean, San Francisco is a very popular pick. The Texans are the up and comer.
Yeah.
They've got their young team.
I think they're the new Chiefs. I think the Texans are the new Chiefs.
Texans are the Chiefs. Do you want to give me a winner on that one, or are we waiting on this?
Yeah, San Francisco. Yeah, I'll give you the San Francisco.
So San Francisco 49ers, and that's gonna hurt you. I mean, that's got to be painful.
Oh, good. It's gonna be painful again, right? Yeah. To see them. Yeah. I mean, look, I could be a homer and say Cowboys are going to win it all, but I'm not sure. I'm not convinced of that yet. That, ask me that question again 5 or 6 games into the season, and we'll see how the new defense looks. We'll see how the new offense looks. We'll see if they're tougher. If they're tougher, this is the thing. If they're tougher and start to show some real meanness, instead of that sort of, elegant sort of dance ball that they play, then maybe
that's a really good dance ball. That's a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
So mine, if you're curious,
I am. Of course, I'm curious.
My final.
If you say Rams,
you're gonna so hate my picks. My final AFC are the Jets.
No, don't even say it.
Against the Rams. That you're going to have your New York LA matchup that everybody wants. It's just not the New York LA that people were thinking was going to happen. Jets and Rams, and your Super Bowl winner
is the Rams.
February of 2025 is the Rams.
Oh no. No. You are, I don't know. I want some of what you're smoking, my friend, because
I can't wait for the season to happen because
this is going to be good.
I'm getting from you. This is just so lovely.
Yeah. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun to watch.
So
it's going to be fun to talk trash all season long.
I did all the numbers. I worked up the analysis. I had the Fibonacci sequence going, and it came out as Rams. The data just showed through. The data showed. I did all the numbers and crunched them the right way and did it backwards and forwards and sideways, and there we are. So
okay,
good.
All right,
good. That's interesting.
Well, following along on that same thing, who's your MVP prediction? Like, so who's the MVP this year?
MVP.
And God, if you say Stafford, it's gonna be.
No, it's not going to be Stafford because I believe that the Rams are going to be in with a wild card. I do not believe they're going to win that division. I believe San Francisco's going to win that division.
Right.
And they lose early in the playoffs. I believe that your MVP for this year is Jordan Love, the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
You are nuts.
And
this is going to be. We don't agree on anything, which is fantastic. I love the fact that we don't agree on any of this.
Oh my God, I think that kid has so much potential.
He's a great quarterback. There's no doubt about it, but he's not MVP.
Going to go into elite.
He wasn't even in contention last year for MVP.
Well, I mean, have you heard of a quarterback named Brady? Brady wasn't ever thought of as a. I mean, come on, right?
Yeah.
Strange things happen.
Yeah.
So, how about your MVP?
My MVP is CJ Stroud.
That is a very popular pick. I could absolutely
popular pick.
See that happen. Hey, how can you go? I mean, he was in the MVP discussion for a little bit last year, and he got hurt. If he didn't get hurt, he might have got it last year.
Right. Well, all of our prognostications here assume nobody key gets hurt, which of course is going to happen. Of course, it's to somebody.
Always does.
So hopefully nobody gets hurt, and one of us gets to sort of rub the other's nose in it all season long. But so I'm really hoping nobody gets hurt this year.
That would be great. No major injuries this year would be one. And it's the one thing that I'm challenged with as a football fan, because there's still so many injuries, especially afterward when they retire and the concussions. And I mean, it's a thing. And now we're just, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. That's why
they're doing a lot. They are doing a lot to mitigate that.
Yeah.
But, and I mean, look, there has been lots of talk over the last few years about flag football and how flag football may become the NFL. And we're talking years away, of course, but it could get to that where, but for now it's a contact sport, and like other contact sports, hockey is another one, so it is a contact sport.
Yeah. The most popular sports, I mean, even Premier League football, as popular as that is, or the Euro Cup, all those things, there's a lot of physical play there. I mean, it's a physical game, whether you really look at it. And if you look at UFC and you look at WWE wrestling, I mean, there's the most popular sporting events are physical for the most part.
That's right.
So we will see. All right.
That's right.
What do we got? What's next?
All right. Well, just the last thing we want to cover in this are the sort of bets and predictions about the opening game, so that we can.
Well, should we do the records? What we believe the
records, of course.
Why don't you talk about who you talk about Dallas, what you think is going to happen? I'll talk about the Browns, and then we'll do the prediction. Yeah.
So I think the Cowboys are going to be good this year. I really do. And I think they're going to be quietly good. They've got a lot of the same pieces on offense that they had last year. The defense is looking to not lose one step since they lost Dan Quinn. They picked up Mike Zimmer, who has a very different style of defense. Speaking of which, Dan Quinn went to the Washington Redskins, or the Commodes as they're known now. And so I think the Commodes end up with an even season. I think the Commodes will do a lot better this year because they've made some improvement, but I think they're still a middling team in full rebuild. That's for sure. But I think our new defense is going to be it's not going to lose a step. I think the offense will lose a little bit of a step, but that's okay. They were the number one offense last year. Even if they're number 2 or number 3 this year, that's fine. I think they end up with, call it it's either 10-7 or 11-6, one of the two. And so they basically, I think they take the NFC East. And now that's a little bit of a fanboy talking, right? Because the Eagles, I think, will be the toughest. The Eagles are going to be tough. And unless they implode, which I'm hopeful your prediction there is right, and that they will actually implode and come away with an 8-9 record, I think the Cowboys still take the division, still go into the playoffs as the NFC division champs, and repeat, by the way, the first repeat of being division champs. So there you go.
All right. Very, very, I think that's a positive take. overall. So with
And
my
their
Cleveland
schedule
Browns,
favors it. Their schedule favors it, right? Their schedule for the what they need to do.
I don't know where to start with the Browns because I have not yet seen our multi-million-dollar quarterback Deshaun Watson play.
That's the question. That's the big question for you guys.
He had one good game last year.
Yeah.
The other ones were not, and he was hurt most of the year.
Right.
So
hurt in rock and roll quotes.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I mean, you know that I'm not a big fan with that acquisition.
No,
there's a lot they could have done with that $300 million or whatever craziness it was. I do like that they acquired Jameis Winston as a backup.
Yeah.
His best days are behind him, but he is a great leader.
He's a solid guy,
and he understands the playbook. And if something happens to our starting quarterback, he's a really, really good backup. And honestly, if he was the starting quarterback, I probably would pick. If he was the starting quarterback for our team this year, I probably would pick the Browns to make the playoffs. But I'm not with Deshaun Watson, which is terrible, isn't it? Isn't it terrible? So I'm picking them 8-9.
8-9. Oh my gosh,
8-9
season.
You know me. You know I mean, I root for him every game. I'm as big a Browns fan as you will find, but I'm trying to be unbiased here and say, what do I really think? I really believe that they're going to be 8-9. They're going to tie for last place in the division with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, well, Steelers are gonna suck this year.
Also at 8-9.
Sorry,
JK. I'll tell you what. All Mike Tomlin does is make the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's all he does. You do not discount. I would not be surprised if the Pittsburgh Steelers came out and won that division.
Russell Wilson, though. I've got 2 words for you. His name is Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson is 10 times better than anyone they had a quarterback last year.
It's not.
Absolutely.
No, he's not.
They were throwing out chumps out there that didn't know what they were doing.
They need to give him his little tiara.
Who's the quarterback that they got from the Bears?
He's got his Barbie playhouse, and just let him be on his own.
Who's the quarterback they picked up from the Bears that's also on the Steelers?
Who's I think a really great quarterback. Justin
Fields.
Justin Fields. Thank you.
Yes.
And he's that kid is good.
So that's the future quarterback. But you're gonna see Tomlin will mix and match them in and out. You will see both those quarterbacks play during a game, and I think that will throw off a lot of defenses. And by the way, you will see you'll see more than 30 plays with the Steelers that have both quarterbacks in this year. They will do that a lot.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that.
Oh, they're gonna play. They nobody's talking about it, but I follow football. It's I
heard you
happen.
do research. I heard you do the research.
I plugged in the numbers. The number was 30 games or 30 snaps that Russell Wilson would play with Justin Fields. Okay. Anyways,
they're going to do like a Saints. They're going to do like a Saints thing with what's his name?
What? Who? I don't know.
What's his name? Taysom
Hill.
There you go.
Hill.
There you go.
It's possible, but
okay.
So anyways, if something happened, God forbid, not that I'm wishing injury on anyone, whatever. If something happened to Deshaun Watson, the Browns will make the playoffs at 10-7. I think that with a starting healthy Deshaun, I want to be wrong, Robert. I really want to be wrong. I'd love to see him at 10-7 or 11-6. They were 11-6. What were they? 10-7, 11-6 last year, whatever they were. I think they lost that last game because it didn't matter. They finished 10-7.
If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be.
But anyways, the Bengals win that division, in my opinion.
Maybe. Yeah, I can see that.
I believe that that's what's going to happen. And
I think the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to be tough this year. I think the reason I'm not picking
the Ravens, to be honest, is I actually think Lamar Jackson is not going to be healthy this year. And again, I'm not wishing it.
Yeah.
He has problems staying healthy. And as Lamar Jackson goes, so does that team.
Exactly.
If he does not start, they will not win. And by the way, Huntley, who was their backup last year that did so well for the Ravens, is now our third string quarterback on the Browns.
Yeah.
Which we may be sending over to Minnesota since they lost their starting quarterback for the year. So
yeah,
who knows?
Still a lot of gamesmanship to play. Yeah, but this is all good. This was great.
This is great. So this is it.
Hopefully all of you enjoyed that. That you enjoyed that. the last 45 minutes of that nonsense. I was fun. I enjoyed myself.
I enjoyed it. Well, we have one thing left to do, and that's the final game. What are we doing? What are we betting?
Okay.
The Browns home opener is against the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm taking Cowboys.
I'm taking the Browns.
Okay. Well, that's good. that keeps it elegant.
Mm-hmm. I think that.
Are you taking Browns in points, or are you taking the Browns are we doing straight up cleanup?
I'm taking the Browns straight up.
Okay, so I think I'm taking the Cowboys straight up. So what is the bet? So the last time we did this, and I lost, we had to take selfies and post it on social media in each other's gear. And I lost, and I had to take a picture of myself in a Browns t-shirt, which didn't fit at all, and was really made my dad bod even look more dad bod.
I think that we do it the same thing, but on this episode.
Okay.
You wear Browns for an episode, whatever the episode we decide, the next one, and I'll wear.
Yeah, it'll be the next episode Cowboys, after the game.
The Cowboys win.
Yeah. It'll be
because
that may be hard.
Whenever we decide.
Yeah. The episode after may be hard because we're traveling and we have to do a special recording in that week.
But it'll be after that. Sometime during the football season.
Sometime during September.
That's basically. Right. And because there's a couple Goodwills close here that I maybe can find a throwaway Cowboys jersey.
I think I still have the one that you
somewhere
sent last year. I think I still have it. I don't know. I may not. I may have used it as a dish rag. I can't tell you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's well, I don't know. I mean, I'm counting on at least 2 interceptions from Dak. By the way,
I wouldn't count on that. He's playing very well. In my opinion,
and you're not going to want to hear this, but if Dak wasn't the quarterback, I might have picked them to go all the way. But I like Dak as I think he's a very good person.
Enough on the Dak stuff. It's the same as it's the same as my Romo. He gets the same shit as my Romo. So yeah, he's a fine quarterback. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. I mean, I'm doing the whole Goodwill Hunting now. It's not your fault, Dak. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
And then you start crying.
And then I start crying. That's exactly right. Yeah.
No, or Dak starts crying.
That's right.
Dak is crying with Tony Romo.
Yeah.
By the way, for people that don't know, that's Tom Brady's first game as an analyst doing the Browns Cowboys game.
Is that right? I did not know that.
He is coming to Cleveland doing his Fox football debut.
That'll be fun.
Wouldn't that be something?
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So I think he didn't take Tony Romo's spot, but he's trying to be the Tony Romo of Fox.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So, all right. That's it. That was fun.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that was fun.
You did a good job. Fun. I don't really agree with any of your picks.
Yeah, no, it's great that we don't agree. It's great. It's fun that we don't agree because this kept the tension alive, and kept the show, from doing something.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to look at the downloads and see if the show.
See if we see a decrease.
The commentary.
The commentary. Yeah. Well, send us your own picks. Send us your own comments and let us know what you think.
Put it on the comments on the YouTube.
Or wherever
of this episode or whatever. Yeah. Let us know who you think your top 2 and overall winner.
That would be awesome.
Yay, marketing.
Yeah, there we go. Right. And we will be back next week with a full-on marketing show, back to our normal business, back to this old marketing as you understand it. So until we see you again next week, just remember, it's your story to tell. Go watch a game and then tell it well. And we'll see you next week on This Old Marketing. Hey, thanks a lot for making it this far in this week's episode, and thank you all for being a part of This Old Marketing. You can check out all the show notes of what we talked about today at thisoldmarketing.com, and it's also where you can leave us a review or a voicemail. We need those reviews and comments on whichever platform you follow us on. And if you haven't followed the podcast, please go do that and make sure you catch the latest and greatest episodes every Friday morning. We're on Apple and Spotify and all your other favorite podcatchers, of course, but we'd love it if you went over and subscribe to us on YouTube. That's right, YouTube. youtube.com/@thisoldmarketing. We'll see you again next week, folks, with another episode of This Old Marketing.